So in today's video, I just want to quickly talk about PST in Saskatchewan and how you might be paying PST for certain businesses in certain industries when you shouldn't be. The main example of this would be in trades in construction, where if you have a construction company and you're buying material to construct something, whether that's a deck, a house, a garage, a cabin, or something like that, if you're buying those input materials, typically if you just go to a regular store, they're going to charge you PST on those. And that's fine, they're supposed to. But in the event where you have a business and you're a contractor and you're actually taking those materials to build something to sell to a different end user, then typically you should not be paying PST on those input materials. So that's why as a contractor, you should get set up with a supplier. If that's one of the bigger stores that sell wood and different building materials and stuff like that, you can get set up with them so that you're PST exempt. You don't have to pay them PST because you're going to be charging PST to your client, the end user. So if you're going to a place like Home Hardware, Home Depot, Rona, whatever it may be, and you're buying building materials and they're charging you PST, and then you're constructing this home, this deck, this garage, whatever, and then again, you're charging PST on the sale of that to the client, then PST is being charged when it shouldn't be, and it's ultimately being charged to you when it shouldn't be. Therefore, you're paying more PST than you should be, and you can apply for clawbacks and get that money reimbursed to you. So again, if you work in that field, you should be setting up accounts with those, companies, businesses, suppliers of materials so that you're not paying PST on them when you are using that material to build something for a different end user other than yourself. It's different if you are just a regular consumer that's, purchasing some wood to, do renovations on your own deck or your own shed or something like that, because you're then the end user. But as a contractor, you're a middle person that's purchasing from the supplier to create something for an end user. And so you don't have to pay PST to the supplier. So just something to keep in mind, again, that if you are purchasing materials, you're not the end user. Typically, you shouldn't be paying PST on those, or you can at least claim that you did pay PST on those for clawbacks to get some money back. And this can really add up for, especially construction companies, if they're building houses or garages or something like that, where they're paying maybe tens of thousands of dollars for materials on a regular basis. That 6% PST can add up quite quickly. So that's something you want to be aware of. I would say make sure you're familiar with the rules around PST when it comes to both setting up an account, but figuring out how much you have to charge and when, because it can vary from service to service and product to product and even situation to situation like this. So I would, work with a bookkeeper, maybe work with someone who has experience with PST just to make sure those things are set up properly, because there are penalties if you're not collecting it properly. But also in this instance, you might be missing out on money that should be coming back to you if you're not claiming it properly, or if you are paying it for supplies and materials that you're not really supposed to be paying it on. So hopefully this was useful. I know that our PST system here in Saskatchewan is pretty complicated, more complicated than it needs to be in my opinion, but it is important to educate yourself on those things. Make sure you're doing it right, making sure you're not missing out on opportunities like this. And so if this video was useful, please click like and feel free to check out my YouTube channel here, where I currently have over 200 videos that cover business management and business startup topics.